When you have multiple layers and you would like to align them properly or distribute them evenly, you have a few different options. And in this lesson, we'll have a look at these options. First of all, before you can align or distribute the layers, you need to select them. You do that by getting the selection tool here, and then clicking on the layer once, and then holding down the Shift key and then clicking on the other layers. With the Shift key, you can select multiple layers at the same time. You can do it in the composition panel here, or you can also do it in the timeline here as well. So if I click on this and Shift click on the last one, that selects all the layers. If I want to leave one layer out, all I have to do is to press Command and then click on that layer, that one gets deselected. I'm going to Command click on this again to select it again. Now there's a panel called the Align panel, and it's this one here. And for whatever reason, if you can't see this, if you go to Window, it's going to be here as well. You can just click on this and it will open up the Align panel. And with all of these layers selected, you have a couple of options. You can align all the layers to the selection, so that's referring to the current selection we have. Or you can align them to the composition. That's now referring to the boundaries of the composition. For example, if I want all these layers to snap to the top of the composition, I can set this to be composition, and I can say align top, and if I click on this, you see all of them will snap right to the top of the composition. I'm going to press Command Z to undo that. Whereas if I do align layers to selection, and if I do align top, it's going to look at the topmost object, which is this blue one here, as I can see, and it's going to look at the top edge of that, and it's going to align everything to the top edge of the blue one, like that. If I press Command Z, and I can now align them to the bottom as well, which means that it will look at the bottommost layer, which is this yellow one, and it will align all the objects to the bottom edge, which is this edge of the yellow layer. So if I go and click Align Bottom, all the layers will move down to be aligned to the bottom edge of the yellow layer. Let me press Command Z again to undo that. And the last one I'll show you here is this button that says Align Vertically, and what this does is it averages every single one to be aligned right in the middle of the selection. So if I go and click on this, every single layer will move down or up, depending on where they were, to be aligned to the center vertically. The last three options here that we talked about are for the vertical alignment, and the first three options are for the horizontal alignment. So you have Align Horizontally, Align Left, or Align Right. You also have down here the distribution options. The last three, in this case, are going to be for the horizontal distributions, and the first three are going to be for the vertical distributions. For example, if I want the distance between every single layer to be equal, I can distribute them horizontally. So I can click on this button here, where it says Distribute Horizontally, and that's going to make sure that all the layers are distributed properly so that the gaps or the distances between them are exactly the same. You also have the option to align these layers manually, and you do that by first deselecting all of them. So I'm going to go click outside to deselect them. And if I click on any layer, let's say for example I click on this pink layer, as I drag it, if I want this layer to snap to another layer, I can hold down the Command key, and you see right in the center there's a little square that appeared when I hold down the Command key. If I let go of Command, that disappears, hold it down again, it comes back, and that shows me the point that will snap to the other layers. So if I go and move this here, let's say to the yellow one, you see it will snap to the yellow layer. The center of the pink one snaps around. So if I go and move it here, you see the center of the pink one is going to snap to the green layer now, either to the corners, the edges, or the center of the green one as well. I'm going to move out. But what if you want to snap this, let's say based on the top left corner? Well, that's very simple. If you go and click somewhere near the top left corner, not quite on it, but somewhere near the top left corner, and you start dragging, if you now hold the Command key, you'll see that the square will appear on the top left corner of the layer. Then that's where it's going to snap from. Let's say I would like this one to snap from the bottom left corner. I click somewhere here towards the bottom left corner of the yellow layer, and then hold down Command, so the square appears on the bottom left corner, and this can snap there. And let's say here again, the top left corner, Command, so the square appears there, and then here the bottom left corner, Command, and then the square appears there and it snaps. And I can select them all. Command A is the shortcut to select them all. I can move one of them towards left or right to center these.